Sure. So we bought a triplex up in Jacksonville. I think it was late 2022. And we moved really quickly on it because the price per unit was very low. We knew it needed a ton of work, but we probably didn't do as many inspections as we probably should have. But we were doing it with our own money. So we were like, oh, how bad can it really be? So we closed on that pretty quickly. I think we bought it for like $50 a door, give or take, which, was a great price in the market at the time. And even today it was. We had about a $40,000-ish a unit budget to kind of renovate it.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kesil. Today, I'm joined by someone I'm looking forward to chatting with, Chris Grenzig, who's been making serious moves in the investment and property management space in Florida. So excited to have you here on the show today, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. I think our listeners are going to take something away from, how you've been approaching growing your business and really integrating all assets of it, the management, the investment piece. Let's dive in.
Yeah, for sure. Should I start with a little bit of background?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay, sure. So I got started in real estate in 2016. I worked for a company called Toro Real Estate Partners. We acquired about 3,000 units during my time there. About the last 3.5 out of my 4.5 years there, I oversaw everything in Florida. So it was a 1,000-unit portfolio in Jacksonville, Florida, across 7 properties. In 2020, decided to go off my own when we were buying our first smaller property. It was a 16-unit multifamily in Jacksonville. And at that time, decided I was going to move from New York to Jacksonville to kind of oversee the day-to-day as well. While at Toro, we used to outsource the property management to property management company. And, for some of our larger renovation projects, we would have an owner's rep as well, or the property managers would be the ones overseeing it. So decided I was just going to up and move and kind of figure it out, and moved down Thanksgiving weekend of 2020. We've bought since then 150 units. We still own 51 today. We've overseen at least a few $1 million in renovations during that time. And we've also opened up our property management side of our business for other owners and clients in early 2024. So we've been doing that for almost 2 years now. We manage in the Jacksonville and Orlando area. We own in the Jacksonville area. And we're just really focused on the 10 to 80 unit space of multifamily in the Jacksonville and Orlando areas. It has been a tough couple of years there. A lot of headwinds in the market as far as where rents have gone, insurance premiums, interest rates, construction costs, a lot of different things. So it's been a difficult market to navigate as of late. But that's why we've been more focused on the property management side, the operational side, and growing that out and continuing to make that better and more robust. So as opportunities kind of do present themselves again, or as we're reviewing, it gives us a better ability to analyze them, and move quicker than maybe some other groups.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
What do you feel is like one of the main keys to keeping this business running smoothly?
It's a good question. Definitely the operational side is a big part of rental properties or multifamily in general. The day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year. I think the management side has a good recurring cadence, right? You kind of have the same things going on 80% of it recurs every single month, right? The first week you're worried about collections, then you're worried about maintenance issues, and you're worried about renewing tenants, signing new leases, leasing. So all these things kind of work in cycles on roughly a monthly basis. So really tightening those processes, making them more efficient, making them easier and simpler for, the residents we're dealing with, makes us better on our end, and then, can eventually lead to better efficiencies for properties we're evaluating.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so important. So when it comes to like the investment side of your business, how does that kind of work structure wise? Are you guys just looking for properties around Jacksonville that are like good investments to add to your portfolio? Or yeah, can you expand on that?
Yeah, so kind of the idea for us is there's a lot of focus on the 100+ unit space, right? Where you have on-site property management, maintenance. You have, national players, international players, regional players that are really looking for that. So there's a really wide market for people that are looking for those types of properties. Obviously, you can segment that into older properties, newer properties, and, even, for REITs and stuff, they'll probably focus on even larger ones. So you can still segment a little further, but there's still a lot more potential demand, in my opinion, in that space. My goal was to focus below that space, so kind of in the 10-ish unit space to the 80-ish unit space. When you start getting into 60, 70, 80 units in central North Florida, that's when you start kind of blurring the lines between, the traditional multifamily where you have on-site staff versus it being, a scattered site type property where you have a central office that's overseeing all the management. And having a central office and being scattered site is definitely less efficient and tougher to do than the traditional on-site model. So with greater challenges, I think can present greater opportunities. But the overall business model is not overly different, whether there's on-site staff or not. So for us, it was targeting those areas where we can bring in a more sophisticated outlook into assets where similar types of companies and investors aren't looking, or there aren't nearly as many people looking. So it gives us a greater opportunity to be, the front runner or one of the front runners for that property, and give us greater opportunities. So we kind of look in that space, 10 to 80 units in Jacksonville and Orlando. We haven't bought anything in Orlando though yet. It's definitely less inventory in that space in Orlando than Jacksonville. But we usually look for opportunities that have some sort of value add component, which is what everybody says nowadays. But, there's a lot of properties that have deferred maintenance. You used to find lower market rents. Now that's not so much the case anymore, given rents have dropped the past couple of years. But deferred maintenance units that use upgrades. Sometimes there's some expenses we can maybe cut or do better. A big one we see is trash contracts. Oftentimes are above market because, you just kind of fall in the trap of renewing every year and you don't go out and rebid it. But, you're not saving a ton of money for a whole property. For 10, 20 units, you might save $50 to $250 a month or something like that. So it's not a huge needle mover, but it can help.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet, for real estate investors and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And really just trying to find opportunities where others might not see it, or, longer term owners that, just kind of run the property as is for a while. And there's some upside that we can capture. Our plan is to come in, renovate and bring the property up to market, kind of soup to nuts, your exterior rents, expenses, in the first 3 years, give or take, and then try to refi and hold for, a longer term vision of, 7 to 10 years.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds like a great strategy. And yeah, I would be curious, like where you see your business heading. Is there something that you're focused on scaling to next beyond all of this? Or yeah, kind of like what's like that next goal for you guys?
Yeah, I would say right now, it's very difficult to find opportunities that make sense in that space. Rents have dropped 10 to 25% since late 2022, early 2023. It's really put a squeeze on a lot of the, NOIs for our own properties as well as other owners. There hasn't been this big wave of forced sales that a lot of people thought there would be. So a lot of owners are holding on because they think their property is worth X, or they don't want to sell it for what buyers want to pay for it right now. So they say, I'll kind of wait it out and see how it goes. But the longer that goes on, the more potential opportunities there are. Right now, there's just not a lot of transactions happening. The bid ask spread between buyers and sellers is very wide. So that's why we've been focused on the property management side of the business for about the past year or so. Gives us an opportunity to make that side of the business better and bigger. And it's also something that is only going to help us on the acquisition side in the future, right? The more internal data we have, the more of the market share we have on management and operations, it's only going to make our underwriting better, tighter, more accurate in the future, as well as the more we can scale, the more team members we can bring in, the more specialists that we can have. So, if we can scale and bring in a specific project manager who really understands the market, knows construction costs like the back of their hand, that's going to make our renovation budgets in the future only that much better. So that's kind of where we're focused on now, is for the next 1 to 2 years, kind of seeing where the market goes, keeping a pulse on it, continuing to talk to other owners, brokers, sellers, and seeing what's going on, and then following the changes that happen. And then as those potential opportunities arise, then, really diving back in and trying to find them.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. That's so important. So let me ask you this. Every business has moments where things get more real. Maybe a deal goes sideways, or you have to make a fast pivot. Would you mind sharing one of those experiences for you and how you overcame it?
Sure. So we bought a triplex up in Jacksonville. I think it was late 2022. And we moved really quickly on it because the price per unit was very low. We knew it needed a ton of work, but we probably didn't do as many inspections as we probably should have. But we were doing it with our own money. So we were like, how bad can it really be? So we closed on that pretty quickly. I think we bought it for like $50 a door, give or take, which, was a great price in the market at the time. And even today it was. We had about a $40,000 a unit budget to kind of renovate it. The plan was to do short-term rentals on it at the time. I had a good friend of mine who has a short-term rental management business in the area, who kind of helped us come up with some projections of, daily rates and occupancy and things like that. And I think the 2 studios at the time were like $100 a night at like 75% occupancy. And I think the small 2-bedroom was around 150, 200 a night, maybe like 180 a night, I think, if I remember correctly, at like 70% occupancy. So we were feeling pretty good about that. The renovation budget turned from 40,000 a unit to 80,000 a unit, so basically doubled. We had to replace basically everything, all new sewer lines, water lines, full rewire, new roofs with a ton of wood rot, replaced about 50% of the drywall, new exterior staircase, new windows, new AC, basically the only thing we didn't touch was the exterior siding of the building, but we still painted it. There were some things we definitely missed. and some things that kind of, as we were doing this, we were like, well, we better do this at the same time before we close it all back up with, new kitchens, new bathrooms, things like that. So our budget went much higher than anticipated. And it took us about 16 months to do the renovation. Had to wait for some permits. Some things just took some time. Some problems we weren't expecting set some things back. And by the time that kind of happened, Jacksonville had been continuing to build a lot, and rents, or the daily rates for Airbnb, everything fell.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So what was $100 a night for the studios fell to about $70 a night, and occupancy dropped as well, and so on and so forth. So didn't really make sense to do, short-term rentals there anymore. We tried to sell it for a small profit, and really didn't get anything. I think we had one or two lowball offers from some wholesalers that came in, but really no end buyers that we were looking for. So we did end up finishing the project. We did place long-term tenants in it. We still do own it. We refied, but right now, if we had to sell it, we'd probably lose $20,000 to $50,000 on it, give or take. It definitely has not been the best short-term project. I'm cautiously optimistic for the long-term because we did replace so much, we did renovate so much, that hopefully it'll be a low-maintenance project for us in the future. I do think the market is poised to turn around because new construction did fall off a cliff in 2023. So I do see the supply and demand dynamics changing in the future. But it's going to take a while for us to kind of hopefully get in the positive. So that was a tough lesson to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what matters is how you overcome it. And it's really all about that long-term game. So yeah, that's important that you guys are focusing on what can happen in the future versus what happened in the past.
Yeah. And it is tough. I think we were helped because, we did buy it so well despite needing how much work. So basis is always a big thing. Because if we had paid, market for what that would have been, we would have been in way more trouble. So we've always been focused on basis, and, even though we're still hurting short term because of that, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to growing your business, your network, creating new relationships, what do you feel has made the biggest difference for you?
I think the biggest thing is finding people and being able to offer help, or connect other people. A lot of times when I do one-on-one meetings, I like to end with, hey, what is something you're looking for right now? Whether I can help or not. It might be a certain type of deal. It might be a contractor. It might be a new employee. It might be, I don't know, but just by knowing what people are looking for in the moment, it opens up the possibility of me being able to help, me maybe knowing somebody that will help, or maybe I go meet somebody else in a couple weeks and they can be the answer to that question, or the two things they're looking for actually, would help one another, or they're looking for the same thing. So I've found a lot of success asking that question at the end, of just knowing what people are looking for, and then, trying my best to remember. I don't always do that, but who's looking for what, and if something comes up, being able to potentially have something for them in the now or in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Relationships are everything in this space. So it's good to know how we can add value to them and vice versa. It always, becomes a twofold process.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So what are some things that you're looking forward to in your business or in your market in general?
That's a good question. I would say, I'm looking forward to the oversupply going away in our markets. We were spoiled in Florida from 2016 through 2022 of year after year of, great or record-breaking rent growth, of values just going up. It was kind of a humbling and a coming back to earth the past couple of years. So, looking forward to, whether it's our own properties or our clients, letting them know like, hey, the rent we got last year is actually below market now. So maybe we can bump it up a little bit. Or if somebody moves out, we can release it for a higher rate. Because that's one of the goals of getting into real estate investing is that outcome. So looking forward to that eventually in the future. I think just the process of building out our company and growing day over day, month over month, year over year. And, a lot of times those things get lost in the weeds, but, seeing where we were and where we are in the future and how we can improve on those things, I'm really looking forward to, and just continuing to build, the management side of the business that can support, our own properties and our investors, as well as, our owner clients that we service as well. So just continuing to try to learn every day, make improvements, make things better, to service both those sides.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So before we wrap up here, if someone wants to reach out, connect, learn more from you, where is the best place that they can find you?
Yeah, for sure. I would say easiest way is probably by email. It's chris@jagpmg.com. So at jagpmg.com. You can also find me on social media on LinkedIn or Instagram just by searching Chris Grenzig. Also in Bigger Pockets too, if anybody wants to reach out to me there for some reason. But those are probably the best ways to reach out. If anybody's interested in, investing with us, our website is jagcapitalpartners.com. If anybody has a property and is interested in management, our management website is orlandoproperty.management. It says Orlando Property Management, but we do service Jacksonville and Orlando. So, you can find out more info there or just get in touch with me directly.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate your time, your story, and perspective. So thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Awesome. And yeah, for the listeners tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure you've subscribed. We have more conversations with operators just like Chris who are building real businesses. And we'll see you all on our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.